Hello, I am Curtistene McCowan, the proud mayor of the All-America City of DeSoto, Texas. I am delighted to welcome you to another edition on Focus on Leadership. And joining us today is Judge Ingrid Warren. Judge Warren, thank you for joining us. And we would love to hear a little bit about your background.
Certainly, my pleasure. Thank you so much, Mayor, for allowing me to be here and a part of this program with you today, as well as the upcoming program that we have in February. And I am one of 18 statutory probate judges here in Texas. Texas only has 18 statutory probate judges, and we are in the larger counties. For those of us that live in the Metroplex, that would be Tarrant County, Dallas County, Denton, and Collin. And I preside over Probate Court 2 in Dallas County, where we hear about approximately 37.5% of all the probate cases. So the good thing about probate is, or at least for the lawyers that practice in the area, and again, this is from the lawyer's perspective, is that they have a really high success ratio of dealing with their clients because about 10 out of 10 of them die.
Okay, Judge. Those kind of jokes. Okay, we appreciate that. We appreciate your sense of humor. Okay, thank you.
We're just dealing with it from an objective perspective
Sure.
and point of view, and we just want to make sure that we lighten the mood as we talk about something that's not always fun to talk about.
I agree. Well, I'm very appreciative of your being here and really supporting and collaborating with us on a program that we think so important to our community. And we're planning an event on February 3rd, 2018, right here at Town Center in the City Council chambers. And this program will be dealing with wills, trusts, and estate planning. And so you have a wealth of knowledge in that area, Judge. And for the last few months, we've been meeting and we've been talking about it. And so this will be a free workshop, and I want to emphasize the word free. And so we are inviting our DeSoto citizens and friends to come out from 10 until 12 on February 3rd, 2018, here at Town Center. And so that being said, Judge Warren, why do you think it's so essential for citizens to understand the importance of preparing wills and trusts and, of course, estate?
It's essential that people are not only taught how to handle their affairs, because most of us just know how to do what we do.
That's right.
And so we need skilled practitioners to help us figure out, okay, now that I have worked all my life, what do I do in order to take care of my family? So I think it is crucial that people understand how to transfer their assets at death, and also how to plan for disabilities, because disabilities are not a function of age.
That's right.
They're just a function of circumstances.
That is right. And I know you have been instrumental in lining up some phenomenal presenters for this workshop on February 3rd, 2018. I continue to emphasize the date. Can you just share with us a little bit about the presenters that will be here to support the workshop?
Absolutely. I'm delighted to be able to participate and bring some lawyers as well as some other practitioners in the area in different fields that don't necessarily come before me, but that are involved in the area of estate planning and financial planning. So we have Shauna Brown, who is a Dallas practitioner. She's an estate planning and probate lawyer. She is loved by audiences. They enjoy hearing her speak. She always gets great comments and feedback. Good. And she's extremely personable and has a way of talking directly to people, even when she's in a large audience. Not to mention, she actually did that for me once in a case, and she was able to make the analysis very plain and clear for the court as well. We have Craig Gant. He's also a lawyer that's experienced in estate planning and real estate law. He also works in the area of sports and entertainment, so he brings a wide variety and perspective of legal experience to the process. Glennis Redwine, I think she rounds out that panel on the estate planning side because she adds the component of having worked for the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
She also balances it out with her experience working for a major corporation where she worked with employers and employee benefits.
Oh, okay.
So she can talk with people about how to handle their retirement assets and what they've saved while working with their employer. The second panel is going to be the investment advisor and trust officers panel.
Okay.
So in that panel, we have Barbara Dixon, Dusty Wallace, Jerome Koch, and Dave Foltz. Barbara Dixon, she adds a different perspective because she's actually a chartered financial analyst, and she's actually a money manager. She's currently retired, so she's in a perspective where she's not necessarily looking for business, but she can give you an idea of what she thinks of the markets and how that plays into your financial planning and estate planning. Dusty Wallace, she brings a unique skill set because she's able to combine not only her legal background, but also her certified planning certification as well. So she is able to look at it from both perspectives at the time of planning with her clients.
Oh, good.
Jerome Koch is a longtime financial advisor here in the Metroplex. He has worked with a number of families for many, many years. He's involved in personal money management and estate planning with his clients as well. Dave Foltz rounds out the panel for investment advisors and trust officers, and he has years of experience as the manager of a trust department for a regional bank. He's worked for several banks and headed their departments. But what I like about his approach is that he now is a coach. He's no longer serving as a trustee, but he's a coach to advise and work with trustees and families, attorneys, and CPAs because he's seen it from all perspectives. So those two panels combined are going to be a wealth of information, all pun intended, for the citizens of DeSoto. As a matter of fact, for anyone that comes and participates and hears.
And it's open to our citizens as well as people outside of DeSoto who may want to come and just have this is amazing, and having the advantage of coming and the ability to interact with people so knowledgeable about these different areas. And it brings to mind, and just based on my background, I knew so little about these topics. I was well into my adulthood before I really knew the significance, because I wasn't exposed to it, the significance of having a will or setting up trusts or just estate planning in general. And it wasn't until I attended some workshops and started hearing the legal ramifications of not taking the time to do it. And so, Judge, do you feel a person's socioeconomic status should cause them to shy away from preparing a will, having a trust, or just estate planning in general?
Not at all. What we hope to accomplish with this workshop is to demystify some of the myths about estate planning, about how much money you should have, about what happens when you are alive and what happens with your will at death. How is a trust different from a will? What can a trust do that a will can't? So what we hope to do is to shed some light in this area so that people walk away not only better equipped with how to at least start thinking about planning, because there's only so much you can cover in a 2-hour workshop, but we also want them to say, I can inform someone else and help them when it comes to what they should and shouldn't do.
Well, and again, my background, I'm the youngest of 9 children, and we inherited some property that was never divided. And I can tell you that property still sits there. I'm from a family of 9, my cousins, a family of 13, and these are all from my mother and her siblings. And it is just amazing that, because they didn't know, they were not exposed, so they didn't handle that business at that time. And here we are in 2017, almost 2018, with those acres of property there. Whatever we do, you got to try to bring everybody together. If there had been a will describing what could be done with that property and how it should be done, we would not be, and I call it a predicament. We would not have the predicament that we have. Fortunately, we all get along. Now, whether or not, when this property is passed on years later, they will all get along. But it's up to us to handle that business that wasn't done prior to our parents and grandparents dying.
Well, I will make sure that's actually a common concern among
Yeah.
lots of large families or dealing with inherited property. And for those of you all that attend, that is something that we can address
Good.
at the workshop.
I thought I'd put a little bit about my personal life out there that I'm not ashamed of. It is what it is. Judge, is there anything else you'd like to share with us as we prepare for this special workshop?
I think that I'm not aware of any other workshop of its kind throughout the city. So I think when I say throughout the city, I'm referring broadly to the Metroplex and what we have going on in Dallas County. So I think it's a wonderful way to learn from people who charge, when they charge, considerably a lot more for their time.
Yes.
And be able to ask questions of them. Certainly they can't answer direct legal questions, but we can certainly give them hypotheticals to consider and answer. And so I would just say that we look forward to seeing the citizens of DeSoto and any surrounding cities that decide to show up.
Well, I want to just say to our citizens and friends, you need to mark your calendars now for Saturday, February 3rd, from 10 until 12 noon for this special workshop on wills, trust, and estate planning, financial planning. We invite you to come out and join us again on February 3rd, 2018, from 10 until 12 noon, right here at Town Center in the City Council chambers. Judge Warren, let me thank you for joining us today and just for the work that we've shared over the last few months to plan for this workshop. And we want not only to thank you, but we want to thank our viewing audience for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us today for Focus on Leadership. Thank you again, Judge.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, and we're pleased to work with you and your very kind staff.
Thank you.